Hey everyone, this is David. Welcome back behind the velvet rope. Let's just get right into it today because we are joined by the one, the only Patricia Field.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction. You overdid it a little bit.
The one and only, the one and only. I'm so honored to have you here. I mean, listen, you wrote this book, Pat in the City. There's a movie out, Happy Clothes, about your life. Your new art fashion store on Broadway, which has been there for a few years. I see you out on your
On East
Instagram.
Broadway, yes. I'm sorry to correct you.
On
Lower,
Broadway.
yes, Lower East, East Broadway.
East Broadway.
Broadway. East Broadway runs perpendicular to Broadway.
East Broadway. You got a lot going on. I mean, do you just love to work? Some would say after 6 decades in the fashion business since, 1966 and opening your first store, it'd be time to, take a night off. I see you out all the time. Do you just love to work?
I have to say, I haven't been going out as much as I used to. I feel a little guilty. Things are going on. I'm going, oh, I didn't go there. But, you go where your energy goes.
You go where your energy goes. Listen, it's good to have a night in every now and then, right?
Definitely.
Definitely.
My gallery is right across the street, my art fashion gallery, where I present designers, fashion designers that I've worked with through the years. And it's directly across the street from my home, my apartment, and my office is here. And it all worked out.
Do you feel like you're giving back now, because you do display so many young and up and coming designers in your current space?
That's true. I enjoy it, and let's say it's a bit less hectic than when I had my shop, of course. But it's in the same vein, and it allows me to do what I know how to do well.
When you look back to your iconic shop, which, for me, it was on 8th Street. That's when I first became aware. When you look back to that time and like starting out, like, do you have vivid memories of, starting out in the business?
Well, to start out with, I have to say, I went to NYU, and NYU is right in that area. And when I first opened my shop, I opened it actually right on NYU's campus on Washington Place. And, vivid memories. It's all one great big, very vivid memory. The people, the young people that I surrounded myself with, then in started coming the celebrities. And, it just became something that I really didn't plan, but I was happy to have it develop in my world, in my life.
Did you plan, because that, back in the day, that boutique, you did employ a lot of the trans community, there was a lot of drag queens, your store really became like the destination for anyone going to the Roxy or Studio 54. It really was like for anyone other, you kind of thought of Patricia Field in fashion. Was that like intentional? Did it just happen?
I have to say it just happened. It happened basically because of the people I knew and the people that were in my life. And it happened. And of course, NYU, it was, I knew that area as I had gone to university there. And it just kind of happened the way it should have happened.
The way it should have happened.
Right.
Well, I mean,
the logical, normal way.
The logical, normal way.
Even though when it's spoken about, it's anything but normal.
It is anything but normal in the best way possible. I mean, can you attribute one thing, to, being 24 and starting out in the business and now being like, the fashion icon that you are today? Like, was there a defining moment in your career where you kind of said, wait a second, we've arrived, we've made it, this is the game changer here?
That's a great question, because the reason I like that question is because I never really, the answer is I never really took myself seriously. I just did what I enjoyed doing, and I surrounded myself with people that inspired me. And, that's how it all came about. It wasn't some kind of like, oh, it's a plan. I'm going to achieve this, that, and the other thing. I just
Right.
wanted to do what I knew I could do.
You mentioned celebrity. Like, who was the first celebrity that kind of embraced you and your style?
I don't understand the question. Invoice me.
Embraced you, like,
Oh,
kind of like,
embrace.
yeah,
I
like,
use an invoice.
no.
Oh gosh, I don't. That's a hard one to answer. Um, my store on 8th Street, it became, and I'm saying this in retrospect and what I read about it and so on. I was never really thinking about it that way. It was my shop. But yes, it did. It became, it be, it, it has its, let me put it this way. These days I see it has its place in history.
It does.
People talk about it. I'm like, really? Was it so this and that? But those were the days too. I mean, going out was fun. It was disco time. There were places like Studio 54 and so on that, of course, that was in the 80s. But I don't know, it just seemed more fun those days.
New York has changed, right?
Yeah, and, well, I think more even beyond New York. I believe it's become more conservative. Everything has become conservative these days. And it was a little wilder then and freer.
It was a
And
little wilder.
yeah, you weren't like thinking about this, is that. You just did it. It was, it was freer.
What about Madonna? Back in the day, she was Madonna. She wasn't the Madonna we know today. I know she came in the store often.
She came in the store. I wouldn't say often, but I was, of course, happy to see her come in. The store, as it progressed, it became a melting pot for a lot of really great people. One of my favorites was Patti Smith, who lived down the block at 1 Fifth Avenue at that time. And she came down and I see this gal in some